President Trump addressing trade concerns in just the past few hours, tweeting, "Farmers have been on a downward trend for 15 years. The price of soybeans has fallen 50% since 5 years before the election. A big reason is bad, terrible trade deals with other countries. They put on massive tariffs and barriers. Canada charges 275% on dairy. Farmers will win." So is the president right? And could the growing trade dispute result in a good outcome for farmers? Contessa Brewer standing by in Portland, North Dakota with the story. Hi, Contessa.
Hi there, Melissa. You know, the farmers on the ground here are hoping that the president's right. They're hoping they'll win. They agree with him that they have been competing globally on an uneven playing field for some time. But look, right now, and this is talking about soybean prices that have been low, but we saw a almost 20% decline in the 3 months since China started talking tough about retaliatory tariffs. Now it's $8.50 a bushel. To break even, these farmers need at least $9.50 per bushel. It's something that's very concerning to the North Dakota Trade Office. The executive director is Simon Wilson. Can you describe to me some of the other immediate consequences that you're seeing for these retaliatory tariffs?
Yeah, well, right now, the biggest thing we're seeing is other countries even starting now to push back to our producers and say, you know, we need a price concession. We need to really talk about this price because this price has bottomed out over the last 60 days.
So you're talking about other Southeast Asian nations calling the producers and saying, even though you have soybeans in transit right now, we want a price cut.
Absolutely. It's the big problem right now is they're starting to call and we're hearing from our producers, and that's where we're working back with each of these countries. It's all these Southeastern countries are doing it.
The other thing that we had talked about is the fact that China immediately canceled all its firm orders for food-grade soybeans, but you're not even to the hot spot for the season to lock up these contracts yet. How much is at stake?
Well, there's a lot at stake. You know, right now, this is where normally we're talking and locking in these contracts. And these contracts, you know, these are the ones that are going to live through the rest of the winter and so on. We're really now at a point where if they don't get locked in, we don't know where we're going to put these beans.
Is it something you can work out with Chinese trade delegations?
Well, it's one where we'd like to. You know, the Chinese trade delegations right now, we have one that was scheduled for September, and they've really gone radio silent on us. And we're really trying to get connected with them and see. We really want to keep this relationship and keep this business going, even in spite of all these problems.
I got to ask, though, if we're talking about prices per bushel of $8.50, and that was a 20% discount from what we saw 3 months ago. Roughly speaking, 25% tariff, 20% discount, the Chinese would be paying about the same. So why are they canceling the orders?
Well, I think you look at it, it's a global commodity, so they see the price that's out there. The other piece of it, and we're really trying to reach out to some of our connections over in China and try to find out if they've been told not to really do anything right now. Let's just hold off and keep the pressure on.
The processor told me yesterday, look, in the short term, I'm losing money. You know, my contract gets canceled. I've got these beans in transit. I found an alternative buyer, but I had to sell for a haircut, lost $40,000. Who might sneak in now and take advantage of this? Who are the big global competitors for alternate markets?
Well, that's a great question because the big competitor for us is Canada. You know, we're really close to Canada. They have similar weather, similar production cycle, and you know, for us, we've always been competing with them, and we don't mind competing on a fair and level playing field. But when you start putting arbitrary pieces where we can't even get in the door, that's when it's a problem for us and our producers, and all the way through to the farmers.
I was really surprised to hear. I knew that Brazil was a big competitor when it comes to providing even not maybe food grade soybeans, but soybeans overall that they feed to pigs a lot in China. When you're talking about Russia going in and working actively to try and take Chinese buyers away from American soybean processors, I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah, it's one where, you know, there's a lot of money in this. There's a big market. China is a massive market for soybeans. And for us, the Russians, as well as the Brazilians, for all of them, they're the ones that are really starting to play the game and really getting in there hard. And we don't mind competing, but it's when you put us out on the sidelines, that's when it gets real tough for us.
Simon, thank you. I know that you have a lot of hopes riding on what your office can do for the farmers and for the processors here in North Dakota. Guys, 70% of the soybeans that are produced in North Dakota are headed for export, and almost all of those are headed for China.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.